Hello, my name's George, and I want to give you a collection update of the games I've bought from about July until now, the end of December. So I'm going to call this my summer and autumn collection update. Let's take a look. The first two games we're going to look at are train related, but they're very different. This first one is called Densha de Go Ryojohen, which the Densha de Go series is a train simulator series from Japan. But it has a spin on it, like an arcade spin, something like Crazy Taxi or something like that. But it's actually really unforgiving. You can fail very easily in this because they go by Japanese standards of efficiency, and if you miss the platform by an inch, you're out. But this one's special because it takes place in the countryside, in small towns. Most of the trains are only one or two carriages, so there's a lot of it's easier to control and brake, and there's lots of stops. Sometimes they're only 100 meters apart. It's very, very tight like that. I played it for about an hour. It was very fun. Another Japanese train game, this one's called Tetsuwan Densha de Batoru. So what this is a train racing game. It's a very weird concept. There's actually two in this series, and they're kind of rare. They're kind of hard to come by, but it's crazy arcade PS2 racing. There's a lot of fog, and you're switching tracks and battling. It's an insane concept, but it's a lot of fun. Another racing game here, Burnout Dominator. I only have Burnout Revenge to play, and then I've played them all. Dominator was developed by a different company while the Criterion people were working on Paradise. And you can really tell this game doesn't have the love and care and attention of the other Burnout games. It feels very rote. It feels like, we're doing this again. Except many of the tracks and cars I found didn't have much of a personality. And the rubber banding is like MotorStorm rubber banding, where there is always someone next to you trying to crash into you, trying to make your day hell. So even though I liked it and I got to the end of it, it's probably the lowest on the list of Burnout games that I've played, other than Burnout Crash. Next I have four games, but very similar. We've got Sonic, should we say, Mario and Sonic at the Winter Games, Mario and Sonic at the Beijing Games, Mario and Sonic at the Rio Olympic Games, and Mario and Sonic at the London Olympic Games. Now the reason I have these all together is because I saw them a lot for sale, and the price was really good, and I thought, you know what, one day I might be in the mood to spend half an hour on one of these, just messing around. And I've played them on the Wii and the Wii U, but never on the handheld, so I'd like to give that a try too. Next is a kind of a pair. I'll introduce them together even though they're on different systems. We've got Need for Speed Nitro and Need for Speed Most Wanted 510. I've not actually played this one, and I have played this one. And if you look at the back of the box, you can tell the mood difference here. Look at this. Look how bright and colourful this is. And then compared to this one, PSP, we can see orange, we can see brown. It's that era of games. So even though they came out very close to each other, you got very different vibes. Now I'm really looking forward to playing this one. And this one, even though I remember it not being great, this was one of the first games that came with the PSP for me. I got this with my PSP. It was not something I asked for, but I was given it, and back then didn't have many games, so I played this a lot, and I'm very familiar with the soundtrack. But I do remember it being repetitive, a little boring, and you're just stuck on a highway with not many cars coming at you. But I'll give it another go, because right now I'm in a real big racing game mood. Next up here we have The Hobbit on PlayStation 2. Now I really like the cover art to this one. I better have a closer look in a different camera angle because this is too shiny. But it looks nothing like the Western release. Now this game is not related to the Peter Jackson movie. It came out during or before or off the hype of it. I'm not actually sure. But it's a very typical European feeling adventure action game. And when you're in the Lord of the Rings mood, you're just in the Lord of the Rings mood. And you have to get it from any media you can. Next up is a game, unfortunately, I haven't played yet. It's on my to-do list. I really am looking forward to this. This is last year's Dragon Dogma 2. I'm a huge fan of the first one. The first time I played the first one, I thought it was terrible, but then it grew on me the next time I played it, and when I completed it, I realized this is one of the best fantasy games there is. It's just so weird and so wild, and for Capcom to take Western ideas and put their spin on it, it really worked out for them. And I've heard the sequel is more of the same, so I'm looking forward to playing that. Next up is Judge Eyes. This is called Judgment, and it's a remake. It came out on PS2. Now, Judgment is set in the Yakuza universe, and actually this is my first one in the Yakuza universe that I've played. I have played the first one on PS2, but I cannot remember a thing about it. That was a long time ago. And I know the series has got a lot of praise in recent years, and I think I am ready to play it after this, because the world they've created, the town and the city and the systems that are in this game are really good, and you can tell it's coming off a legacy, and it feels very much like a spin-off because everything around you is so well developed. But anyway, what is this game about? It's you're a detective. You used to be a lawyer, and now you're going out on your own to solve crimes. A lot about the criminal underworld in Kamurocho, which is the suburb, or this town this is set in. And you have to do lots of typical adventure game things along with Yakuza things. So there's a lot of times when you have to scan a photograph and find similarities, differences, collect evidence, interview people. There's hidden object things. There's lockpicking, passwords, sneaking around. You get options whether you want to go in the window or steal an outfit. It's not as free as Hitman or anything like that, but it does give you the choice. And I've played about 5 or 6 hours maybe of this so far, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really funny because you see a lot of restaurants and shops that you recognize from Kabukicho in Tokyo, which is based off this. So it's very funny to see those types of things. And yeah, that's the other thing. The game is very funny, even though it has a serious veneer. It's kind of deadpan, but it's hilarious, and I really like it. They also use a lot of real actors in this, which is kind of bizarre to see, but yeah, I'm really looking forward now. I can't wait to see where this one goes. Next is Pokemon Legends ZA on the Switch, the original Switch. I do not have a Switch 2 yet. I just finished this yesterday, and well, coming up I'll be talking about my games of the year, and I was really enjoying this one until the end. I'll talk about that more later, but what they have here is a spin-off game, the Legends series, the other one being Arceus, which came out 3 or 4 years ago. And it takes Pokemon and it does a new spin on it. And the spin on this one is it has active battles and kind of an open world to it. And it takes place in the city, which was the center of Pokemon X and Y. And it acts as kind of a sequel to those games in a way. It says it's 5 years after, even though we've been probably more than 10 years after that game. Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. I'll say that. I kind of enjoyed it right until the end. Next is 2 Sonic games. This is one that came out this year, Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I've put so many hours into this. I think almost 50, which I can't quite believe I've reached that number. But what it is it's the kart racing game that is similar to the Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing and the sequels. Team Sonic Racing, this is kind of the 4th one in the series if you think about it. And it uses Sonic characters, a lot of deep cut Sonic characters as well. And you've got these racetracks from the Sonic world. And the unique thing about it is the first lap is normal, and then you go through a portal which takes you to a completely different level. You do a lap of that, you go through another portal, and then you return to the original map to do the 3rd lap. Now the middle one can either be a unique track which only has a start and finish, or it could be a track from it could be a lap of a different track. but you never know what you're going to get. There's a bit of choice for the person in the first place gets to choose whether you go to this one or a random one. It's only a little bit of choice. But it's very clever. And the fact that it can load in another map so quickly, it's kind of like the Ratchet and Clank game on the PS5. Although this is not PS5 exclusive, there is some wizardry going on there. It's something you couldn't believe a couple of generations ago, that you go through a portal and you're taken to a new level, and it's fully, the graphics are just there. They don't need to load in. I don't know how they do that. It's quite amazing. Now, the racing is really rubber bandy. Even when you're online, it seems like everyone's always clumped together, and that's by design. There's a lot of chaos. It's very ADHD. Everything's going on all at once, and drifting and stats on your car, they don't pay as big of, well, they don't make as much of a difference as I'd hope they would. Such like in Sonic and All-Star Racing, it's really important to not hit corners and stuff. In this, you can really recover. But it's the online, like I said, I've been having a real blast. Like, not since Mario Kart Wii have I been this addicted to an online car racing game. And it has the same point system as that as well. If you win, if you're first in a race, you get 100 points. And if you're last, you might go minus 50. And so your score is actually quite accurate to how you're doing, and you get matched against similar level people. It's really good. Oh, and the best thing is not every weekend, but often starting on a Friday, they'll do a festival. For example, there's the most recent one was the SpongeBob Festival, where they added SpongeBob and Squidward and their own track and their own cart. And there's a mini free battle pass that's got 1,000 points on it, and it takes me about 3 or 4 hours to clear that battle pass. It's only available for a weekend, so I've been really enjoying that. They've done maybe 5 of them, one for each of the new characters, including Joker from Persona 5 and Hatsune Miku, and who else? I'm trying to think who's next. But the other thing, they just announced something like 8 new characters, and a lot of them are coming for free. So Knights is coming, I believe, and also Tangle and Whisper from the IDW Sonic comics, which is the first time I think that they've appeared in an official Sonic game, which is incredible. I can't wait to get Whisper. I think I'm going to main Whisper when she drops. I'm having a lot of fun. I really, really like this game. Now, playing this game made me realize, hey, I really do like Sonic, but I need to catch up a little bit on my retro Sonic. So I got Sonic Origins Plus. And since I've got this, I've beaten Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. I'm actually not great at them games, and I don't have the time that I would if I was young and trying again and again. So luckily this game, they provide you save states. So beating Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, that's how I did it, is saving at the start of each level. And you're playing a different mode where there's no lives anymore. You just keep going until you beat it, which is a godsend as well. The cool thing about Sonic Origins Plus is it's an official widescreen version of the game. So the game is beautiful and crisp, and it's 16:9. It looks amazing. It comes with 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles and CD, and loads of Game Gear games as well. Oh yeah, I forgot. I actually beat Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 on Game Gear, which is a pretty grueling experience. I'm so glad there's save states, especially with Sonic 2. You can barely see what's in front of you. That one is not widescreen. It's a square like a Game Gear. I'm not sure if it's Game Gear or Master System that you're playing, but you cannot see what's coming, and I can't really speak because I wasn't there at the time, but yeah, difficult to get through. The bosses were really fun in those though. They were basically robotic animals. Eggman wasn't really in it until the end, but so yeah, this is awesome. This is the best way you can play the classic Sonic games. I wish they would do this like a level up to include the like Sonic R and 3D Blast. things like that. I'd love a HD version of 3D Blast. That was my first Sonic game, and I'm always nostalgic for that one. Okay, they are all games that I got in Japan. Now, when June and July came around, we actually visited the UK. Now, it's the first time I've been to the UK in about 5 years. After COVID, we just didn't go back. It became expensive, and finally, it's time to go back. And I went to a shop called CEX, and I also visited charity shops to get loads and loads of free. Why did I say free? Well, loads and loads of cheap games. I did get some free games because they were in my cupboard in my mum's house as well. But most of these came from shops for very, very little money. So I'm going to go through them now. It might be a bit quick because, honestly, I haven't had time to play most of these games. Right, starting with PS3, we have Prince of Persia, Test Drive Unlimited 2, Stuntman Ignition. I have played this before. It's nowhere near as good as the first one, which is one of my favorite PS2 games. Quantum of Solace, Bloodstone, and 007 Legends. Haven't played any of these. I don't know which one's third person and first person, but I'm a big fan of 007, and I know that some of these are developed by Activision, so it takes the Call of Duty engine and tries to fit it into Bond. These are rated between very bad and below average on the Metacritic, but that is honestly the type of game I gravitate towards these days, because there is a certain charm to the PS3, Xbox 360 generation that we've lost, and these games, they give me that. Got Blazing Angels 2, Secret Weapons of World War II, Condemned 2, MX vs ATV Unleashed, MX vs ATV Reflex, Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising, Sacred 3, and this is a reprinted cover, and this is all broken down here. I got this for £1. And Stranglehold. Similarly, on Xbox 360, I can talk about a few of these because this is what I played when I got back. The first one I popped in was Colin McRae Dirt 2 into my Xbox One, and then I realised it wasn't backwards compatible. I have a bad habit of just assuming things are backwards compatible on Xbox One. So one day I'll have to get a real Xbox 360 to play that. Far Cry Instinct's Predator. I put a lot of time into this. I'm almost done. It's a weird one because Far Cry came out on PC, and then on the original Xbox they released Far Cry Instincts, which is, although it follows similar themes, it's a very different game. I think they made it fit on an Xbox. They gave it a different story, and but anyway, the Predator edition is a kind of a second campaign in that engine. It's a bit more different. There is a bit when there's an open world bit. It reminds me of if you've ever played Uncharted Lost Legacy. Yeah, Uncharted 4 Lost Legacy. There's this middle chapter where you're free to go where you want and you have objectives to complete, and that happens in there. But Far Cry Instincts, I beat that when I got back, and even I have beaten that before. But wow, is it good! It's I don't want to say hidden gem, but you wouldn't assume that a Far Cry kind of downgrade from PC on original Xbox is any good, but it's so good. It's really fantastic. No aiming down sights or anything like that. It's just guns. You can dual wield a lot, and it's kind of a spoiler, but you get superhuman powers at some point, and that includes sprinting and night vision. Kind of, you can smell enemies and see where they've gone. And you can do a big jump, and then you can destroy an enemy in one hit just with your bare hands, and it is a rush, I promise. When you're sneaking through the jungle in sprint mode, and then you pounce, you have to hold down A and let it go, and you kind of blast off and jump on a guy and just rip him up. It's exhilarating, and you end up not using many guns unless you need to snipe. I just ended up being like an animal in the brush, You can hide from enemies pretty well. If you're in a bush, they can't see you. You can throw rocks to distract them. There's a little map which shows you, are the enemies alert? Are they like completely, they don't know you're there? Or if they're red or orange, it means they know you there, or they know you're there and they've lost you. There's a lot of strategy to it as well. I have to highlight, there's one level in this, it might be called the Valley. And 2 levels prior, you're in a mine. You're stuck underground in kind of like this dark Moria on this paradise island, and it's dark and miserable. You can't see, and you come out, and the next level's the valley. Beautiful green and blue water, just blue sky, fantastic. But the best thing about this valley is that you can approach it any way you want. Obviously, a valley is linear. So you can hang glide down the valley, there's boats down the bottom, or you can make your way across the side, there's bridges. There is multiple ways to finish the level, and it's so well designed. I have to say, this game deserves a lot more attention than it gets, I think. It is fantastic. And back to the Xbox 360 pile, Lost Odyssey. I haven't played it yet. We've got both discs in there, very heavy. Brink, I played this on PS3 when it came out. I also got this for £1. I remember it being completely forgettable, but it is of the era, so if I'm ever in the mood, this is where I'll go. Blue Dragon, I'm playing this currently. I'm about 6 hours in to this game, and it's a very typical classic JRPG. It uses a sort of job system connected to the spirits that possess you, and you can switch between the jobs freely. It's best to have one guy focusing on white magic and another guy on the shinobi skills, things like that. It's very cute, it's very charming, and I can't wait to see how it goes. This reminds me of Dragon Quest VIII on the PS2 in terms of graphics. Yeah, funny little JRPG on the Xbox. And I got Fable 2, Fable 3. Haven't played Fable 3, but I have played Fable 2. And I've always wanted to play Fable 2. Fable 1 was one of my favourite games ever. I love Fable 1. I've beaten it so many times. And in my life I never had an Xbox. Not until recently when I got a Xbox One for real cheap. So I'm going through the backwards compatible games, and Fable 2 is maybe even better than Fable 1 for me now. It's so nice, and I love the world. It's so weird and very British. Fable is famous for giving you a lot of choice. Are you going to be bad? Are you going to be good? Are you going to be somewhere in the middle? There's a really interesting ending choice you have to make that was genuinely difficult. It put your morals to the test. I'll have more to say about this in another video, but love this. Absolutely love this. Here are some Game Boy games. I found these in my mother's house. Pitfall. Spyro: A New Beginning. MTV Skateboarding, Game Boy Color. And Driver on Game Boy Color. Here's some Nintendo DS games. Got Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal. This is meant to be pretty terrible. I've played the sequel, Fire and Ice, I think it's called. That was okay, but this is meant to be quite bad. Splinter Cell 3D. The Sims 2 Pets. The Sims 3. Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legends. And then finally, 2 PSP games. Prince of Persia Revelations and Lord of the Rings Tactics. I remember this was very cheap and it went straight in my PSP, and this is what I played most of my vacation over in the UK. It was really fun to begin with, but it was a slog as it went on, and the bigger the battles got, the worse the frame rate and the load times got. There's a good guy campaign and a bad guy campaign, but like I said with The Hobbit, when you're in the Lord of the Rings mood, there's only one place to get it, and that's Lord of the Rings, the movie, the book, or the games. And it scratches that itch for sure. It's very dry, dreary and dry and dark. and sluggish. But I did get entertainment out of it, and I did finish it, which is something. Alright, that's all the games I have, and I'm not sure how long this video went, but if you've made it this far, thank you very much. I hope to be making more videos. I just wanted to get back in the swing of it with this big one. Okay, so thank you for watching, and goodbye.